Hi guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. Back to OJ. So I just showed on my stream that we're on April 17th. That means one more day of fun. But we don't know. Oh, wait, nope. Okay, yes, we are on April 17th. And yes, fun gets off the stand on April 18th. But we're only at the beginning of, oh, you can't see what I see. Sorry. We're only at the beginning of April 17th. There's 3 parts, but this last part is only 26 minutes. Okay. And then we don't know when he gets off the stand on April 18th. He could be there for 1 part or 2 parts. But this is only an hour and a half long, too. So we're almost done with Funk. We're almost done with funk. Yes. Okay. I'm never mad. I'm not hardly ever mad. Hardly ever. Anthony makes me mad. He's like pretty much the only one. He makes me mad. I lay into him sometimes, but sometimes he deserves it. He got a new job. He started yesterday, so that's good. My daughter had 2 interviews yesterday, so that's really good. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's go back to funk.
2 words.
Here we go.
Bleeding, compound, and assumes facts not in evidence. Sustained, just bleeding.
Did you have an opportunity to review portions of your trial transcript?
Yes.
And were there instances in the trial transcript where you testified as if you had done the physical collection when you didn't?
Sustained, rephrase the question.
Did you find any instances of your answering questions in conformity with the habit that you just described to us?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, I'd like to direct counsel's attention to page 21564 of the trial transcript.
Do you have that?
Out of one live into another, Mary.
What line, counsel?
Excuse me.
That's the way we roll here.
Excuse me, it was 21575 of the trial transcript.
Yeah, you want to know why, Fozzie? You want to know why they don't do that? Because it's stupid.
And there's some pages appear to be missing out of my trial transcript, Your Honor. Just have one moment.
Certainly.
You're live on
I'll come back to this after lunch when I have an opportunity to find the missing pages.
Proceed.
Sir, after you were cross-examined by Mr. Scheck about this issue of the grand jury transcript and the issue of whether or not you wanted to conceal the existence of Andrea Mazzola, do you remember that?
Yes.
Were you trying to be careful to specify who physically collected what?
Yes.
And during the cross-examination, did you notice that you were still at times testifying in conformity with your habit of using the term I or making it sound?
I have no job.
Did you notice that even after then you were testifying at times in conformity with your habit?
Yes.
Objection. Leading. Move to strike. Stricken. Jurors to disregard.
Your Honor, I'd like to look at page 22026.
What line, counsel?
Okay, it's lines 23 through 25. '23 through 25. Do you recall giving the following answer to the following question?
I did,
Question,
Mary.
Mr. Fung,
They fired
did
me.
you ever collect a pager in the caged-in area?
Fired.
Answer, yes. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, were you trying to suggest that you personally picked up that item?
No.
And had you earlier testified on direct that Andrea Mazzola had picked it up?
Yes.
I'd like to next look at 21-9-16.
What line, counsel?
It's lines 1 through lines 26.
GTP is starting to tell me I need to go to sleep. Is it time for you to go to sleep? Shouldn't you be going to sleep right now?
Through 26, line 1 through line 26, 21-9-16.
Proceed.
Thank you. Question. Now, did you, in terms of how you and Ms. Mazzola approached this, did you perform any what is known as phenolphthalein tests on those blood drops? Mr. Scheck, did you? Answer, yes. And was that one of the first things that you did? Answer, it was one of the things that we did. Question, all right. Then in terms of approaching these red stains, there is one that I think is item number 1, the one on the door, is that correct? Answer, yes. Question, and before you swatched that stain, you did a presumptive test on it? Answer, yes. Question, all right. And before you took a picture of that stain, you did a presumptive test on it? Answer, I'm not sure which order that occurred in. Do you recall that line of questioning and those answers?
Yes.
And did you, in fact, perform a presumptive test on it physically?
I don't recall if I personally performed it or if Criminalist Mazzola performed it.
Did you physically swatch it?
I don't recall if I did or not.
And did you personally take a photograph, or did someone else
This
do
is a
that?
job.
Somebody else took the
It
photograph.
really is.
When you answered the question about the picture, were you trying to lead Mr. Scheck to believe that you personally took the photograph?
No.
And why was it that you testified in this fashion?
I was trying to answer his question as to what was done, not who did what.
Okay. And next, I'd like to refer to one last portion of the transcript at 22-331, lines 15 through 25. While they're looking for it. 22-331, lines 15 through 25.
Goldberg? Agreed?
Yeah, I don't see if the other one pertains to what I'm about to read.
Proceed.
Sir, did you give the following answer to the following questions? On June 13th, you collected 112, which is 47, right? Answer.
I would object us to take a look at the previous questions. I thought he was going to do it.
Thought you agreed to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that the court. Okay, I'll read it. On lines 1 through lines 26, did you give the following answers to the following questions? Well, it starts with an answer, but to please Mr. Scheck, we'll read that. Okay, generally, that we do our crime scene or our collection in order, but not a steadfast rule, though, but generally we do. Question. Well, you certainly would want to keep the photo ID numbers in order here because that's what you're using to keep track of the samples. Answer. In order, in what regard? Question. In order of collection. Answer. What kept the samples in order was that we collected each sample. We collect them one at a time and label the photo ID number into the coin envelope and place the sample that we have just collected that's been labeled in that envelope. That's what keeps track of the sample. Question. On June the 13th, you collected 112, which is 47, right? Answer. Yes. Then you did 113, which is 48. Answer. Yes. Question. Then you did 114, photo number 114, which is sample 49. Answer. Yes. Then you got sample 50, just near the back rear gate. Answer. Yes. Do you remember those questions, giving those answers to those questions?
Yes.
And sir, were you trying to mislead Mr. Scheck into believing that you had physically collected those items?
No.
Had you already testified that in fact Andrea Mazzola did the physical swatching on most of those items?
Yes.
Now, sir, how difficult is collecting a stain?
Collecting a stain is not very difficult. The actual swatching of a stain is not very difficult at all.
All right. And is this something that, in your experience, detectives sometimes do?
Yes.
Is this something that a layperson could be trained to do?
In a matter of minutes.
Have you seen crime scene technicians do this who are not criminalists?
Yes.
Now, when you testified at the grand jury about you swatching the stains, was that consistent with this habit that you've described to us?
Sustained.
Why did you testify that way, sir?
I was answering the questions as to what was happening, not who. I didn't think the topic was who did what.
Now, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions on the subject of training and your training in the area of collecting a blood stain. Were you trained in how to collect a blood stain for the purposes of conventional serology as opposed to DNA analysis?
At the time I was trained, it was for conventional serological blood and biological.
Was your first
Same.
actual training in collecting a blood sample at the lab at LAPD, or was it in school or somewhere else?
The first training occurred in school, in my coursework.
Did they actually have you physically collecting stains at mock crime scenes? How did they do it?
I don't recall at this time whether we actually had to collect stains or not, but it was covered in the coursework.
Did you also have some more training in how to collect stains once you joined the lab?
Yes.
Now, after the advent of DNA, the use of DNA technology
Thank you,
in
Carla.
criminal
Thank you.
cases,
Thank you.
did the physical mechanics of how you collect a stain change?
No.
And when you said you received some additional training after the advent of DNA, what was the nature of this additional training?
The nature was describing to us how large a sample was needed to perform DNA testing. And that was back in the late 80s, around 88, 89.
So the training went mostly to sample size.
Yes.
Now, when you saw Andrea Mazzola collecting stains at the crime scene at Rockingham and Bundy, can you describe the manner in which she would collect them in terms of her technique?
Criminalist Mazzola was very deliberate in her collection. She was single-minded in her tasks, and she was.
I would object to this in conclusory if you want to ask him about specific stains that he observed.
All right, ask another question.
Well, did she appear to be concentrated on her task when she collected all the stains at Bundy?
Sustained. It's leading.
how did she appear when she was collecting the stains at Bundy in terms of the way that she was approaching her task?
The operations of someone else's mind.
He can describe her conduct as he observed it.
She was very methodical.
And did she appear to be using, or was she using the technique that is used in the Los Angeles Police Department for the purposes of collecting biological stains
Yes,
and doing it properly?
yes.
Now, going back to the Bundy location, you were asked about a videotape that depicted an item that was being passed between yourself and criminalist Mazzola.
Yes,
And have you had an opportunity to look at that videotape now several times?
yes.
Perhaps we can see it's Defense Exhibit 1082, the clip of the tape. Sir, if you look closely at that tape, do you appear to be holding a pen in one hand?
Well, yes.
All right, I was about to try to get the counter number since that's part of our record. All right, we're looking at the segment at 1334 approximately. Proceed.
Sir, is that item the eyeglass envelope as was suggested by the defense?
In criminalist Mazzola's hand right here?
Yes.
No, it's not.
And when I say the eyeglass envelope, I mean the eyeglass envelope without any packaging on it. Is that what you meant?
It's not the envelope itself, no.
Does the eyeglass envelope, if I may approach the witness, it's equals 32 for identification, have some blood stains on it?
Yes, it does.
And do you see any blood stains on the item that's depicted in the defense exhibit 1082?
I can't make any out.
When you recovered the eyeglass envelope, was it relatively crisp as the item in 1082, or did it look somewhat as it does now?
Description of crisp.
Sustained.
What did it look like when it was recovered from the crime scene?
The envelope appeared pretty much the way it appears as it does now.
And it already had blood on it at the time that it was collected.
Yes.
Now, sir, in this particular photograph, are you wearing gloves?
No, I'm not.
Do you have any practice that you follow in terms of when you wear gloves and when you don't wear gloves at a crime scene?
I personally wear gloves only when necessary, and that's when I am about to touch an item of evidence or I'm going into a very, very bloody scene.
You don't wear
Portion of
gloves.
the scene.
Why don't you wear gloves 100% of the time when you're at the crime scene?
For me, when I am not wearing gloves, it makes me that much more conscious not to touch things for prints. And I tend to be very careful when I'm wearing gloves, or at least when I'm in my thought process, when I'm wearing gloves, I would be more likely to touch something because I would think that the gloves would protect the item from prints.
Now, in arriving at that conclusion as to when gloves should and should not be worn at a crime scene as a criminalist, did you consider the opinion of Barry Fisher on that issue?
Yes,
And that was the same text that was cited from earlier during cross-examination?
yes.
I'd like to cite from page 21 of Mr. Fisher's text at, this is the third edition. Maybe I can approach the witness.
Want to show that, Mr. Schechter?
I think he has. There's a similar quote in the fifth edition to it. I think I can lend counsel my third edition. So you've already looked at Mr. Fisher's quotation as to the wearing of gloves. Is that correct? Before today?
Yes,
Okay, and does Mr. Fisher say the wearing of gloves should not be permitted on the crime scene? There is always a risk that the wearer will become careless and touch objects that bear the criminal's fingerprints, thereby destroying or wiping them out. Is that his view?
that's, yes,
And is that your reason for not wearing them 100% of the time?
yes.
I'll mark the page as a people's exhibit, if I might.
All right, people's next in order would be defendants 190, excuse me, people's 190.
And that's page 21.
Third edition. Third edition.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, sir, is blood at a crime scene considered to be a contaminant with respect to the health of the criminalist?
With respect to the health of the criminals, yes.
Why is that?
The blood could have infectious diseases in it, and it could be transmitted to the criminals.
Would you touch an item that had visible blood on it, sir, with your bare hands at a crime scene?
I would try very hard not to.
And would criminalist Mazzola have handed you an item that had blood on it?
No.
Sustained. Answer stricken. Teresa disregard. Rephrase the question.
Now, sir, under the practices of the crime lab and using the standard procedures that you use at a scene, would a criminalist at the Los Angeles Police Department hand to another criminalist an item with someone's blood on it?
Overruled.
Now, sir, directing your attention back to the exhibit, the eyeglasses in front of you, what is the brown paper bag that's contained in that exhibit?
The brown paper bag is what the white envelope was packaged into.
In looking at the brown paper bag, were you able to see what type of a bag that was?
It was a number 4 size bag.
And the Los Angeles Police Department has various assortments of bags.
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to mark as people's next exhibit what appears to be it's a Townsend number 4 brown paper bag.
Yes. You may.
Directing your attention to what we just marked, I think it's 192, Your Honor.
191.
191. I'll write
Townsend
a
number 4 bag.
I'll write a 191 on the rear of the bag. 191 for identification. What is that?
This is a brown paper bag, size number 4.
And is that the same type of bag into which the eyeglasses were placed?
Yes.
Is that consistent? If we can see Defense 1082 again.
It seems to me if it's being offered as a,
Carla, I'm so
I'm
sorry.
objecting on the grounds that I take it this is being offered as
You should
so
come to
foundation
streams, though. You can
Yes.
talk about it.
exemplary evidence, and I think
Yeah.
that the actual exhibit is there.
Thank you. All right, objection overruled.
If I could just have a couple more questions before the noon recess, it won't take that long.
Two.
Okay. Sir, is the item that's depicted in Defense 1082 consistent with the item that we've just marked, the paper bag, the Townsend number 4?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. I think we can wrap it up now, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Do not conduct any deliberations until the matter has been submitted to you. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you with regard to the case. We'll stand in recess until 1 o'clock. All right, let me see counsel at the sidebar with the court reporter. Let's have the jury, please. Goldberg. Good afternoon again, Mr. Fung.
Good afternoon.
You're reminded, sir, you are still under oath. And Mr. Goldberg, you may continue with your redirect examination.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fung.
Good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Fung, when we left
I have about 6 boxes of gloves in my house alone. Like, I use them all the time for lots of things.
off, we were talking about defense tape 1082 that shows Andrea Mazzola passing an item to you. As you sit here
They're
now,
getting
do you have
kind
an
of
independent
expensive, though.
recollection of that incident?
No.
All right. And when you looked at the tape 1082, does it appear to you that the item is a bag that contains something or does not contain something?
The object does not appear to have any bulk to it. It appears to be a flat object.
But are you certain, based upon your practice at a crime scene, that you would not have taken the envelope had it not been in a package, had it simply been in the condition that you saw it in court with the blood stains, with your bare hands?
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Sir, would you have done that? Would you have taken that eyeglass envelope with your bare hands?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Using your practice, your customary practice at crime scenes, would you have grabbed that item, the eyeglass envelope?
Oh my God, it's funny you said that, Posy, because, well, I think I was like 16, 17. We would make my younger sister 15, 16. Okay. Somebody had been, I lived with my mother in the house that I'm currently in. It was just me and my mom. But things started to go missing in our house. We just stupid things, but money, jewelry, things like that. They just started to go missing. So we went to the police and we're like, hey, things are starting to go missing in our house. And the police said to us, it's your daughter. He was talking to my mom. It's your daughter. And he said to me, it's your sister. And we were like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? No, it's not. And they're like, yeah, it is. He said, look, we'll set up some motion detectors in your house. But you cannot tell your daughter, you cannot tell your sister, we're doing this, guys. You just can't. And he put one of those envelopes of money in the house with a dye pack in it. So if you touched it, you got all blue hands. So we were pissed. We were like, okay, fine, we won't tell her, but it's not her. She's not going to rob us. So I remember I got out of school. My boyfriend picked me up from school in his Mustang. And I had to work that day. I had to go straight from school to work at Roy Rogers. So I had my uniform for work right beside the front door, right? I went to a Catholic school. So I'm in my Catholic school uniform. Okay. I had my uniform right beside the front door because I knew there were motion detectors all through the house. And I didn't want to turn them all off and then turn them all on. I had to get to work right after school. I didn't have time for all that. So I walk in the front door, immediately change into my Roy Rogers uniform. And that's all the further I went in the house. I walked in the front door, changed, and I left my Catholic uniform right beside the front door. And then I walk out of the house. Okay. And then I hop into my boyfriend's car and we start driving down the street. We made it maybe a block. And the police are coming. There's like 3 police cars coming. We're driving and they pull right in front of us, right up to us. My boyfriend had to slam on his brakes. And they pull me, out of the car and they're like, what were you doing there? I said, I live there. And they said, you set your motion detector off. I said, no, I didn't. I didn't set my motion detector off. I didn't go into the house far enough. I only went in the front door. He said, it costs money when you set the motion detector off, blah, blah. I said, I didn't. So he says, we need to get into your house. You go for it. There you go. Go for it. And then they pull my sister out. She was upstairs, right? She was wearing gloves. She was wearing latex gloves when she was robbing my house. She's on the porch in her latex gloves, and they handcuff her and they sit her down on the porch. And she's telling me the whole time that they are handcuffing her. I didn't do anything, Kathy. I didn't steal anything. It wasn't me. She said that. She said, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I didn't steal anything. Right. But her husband at that time, so the dye, the dye pack money was went missing like a day before or whatever. Okay. I don't know how she got it without setting off the motion detectors, but her boyfriend had the blue ink on his on his hands, but not her. She never had any blue ink on her hands, but she was wearing latex gloves. That was in that was in the that was around 1990. So she was wearing latex gloves before it was popular. She had the real drip going on. But no, now we have latex gloves everywhere for every reason. It wouldn't be I don't think it would be weird or if the police pulled someone over and found latex gloves in their car. I don't think that would be weird or indicative of crime because, you they are getting pretty expensive though. So we might have to think about, the disposable, I mean not disposable, the reusable ones. The yellow ones that go the whole way up your arm, which are better than the latex gloves anyway, because they stop right here. And I just went on a whole rant that has nothing to do with OJ. I better get back to work.
Your bare hands.
No,
And are you certain of that?
absolutely.
Now, at one point you testified that you believed that the coroners had left the location at the time that was depicted in that scene on that defense tape. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What made you think that the coroners had left?
In my experience, coroner's personnel leave very soon after moving the bodies and placing them in their vans. And I do not recall having seen any coroner's personnel after I had seen them put the bodies in the vans that day. I just didn't recall seeing them.
Had you waited to commence your collection process until after the bodies had been removed from the location?
Yes,
And by that I mean put in the van.
yes.
All right. And based upon your experience in processing crime scenes, can you think of any reason why the coroner's representatives would remain?
Sustained cause for speculation.
Well, it also goes to the state of mind, Your Honor.
Cause for speculation.
Where were you on that night, though?
At crime
No.
scenes that you've been in the past,
Where were you?
are there things that the coroners have to do at the crime scene after they take the bodies and put them in the coroner's vehicle?
Sometimes they have to get information from the detective, but I haven't seen that happen very often.
Okay, so you've processed about 500 crime scenes, you said?
Yes,
And in your experience, does the coroner almost always leave as soon as the bodies are in the vehicle?
very soon after, yes.
Now, were you paying attention when you were involved in the collection process? And by that, I'm including numbering and measuring the various items. Were you paying attention to activities that other people were engaged in around you?
No, I was concerned with doing my job.
When you were involved in the collection process, were you trying to keep track of where the coroner's representatives were, or if they were even there?
No,
To this day, do you have any independent recollection of them being there?
no independent recollection, no.
And do you have any reason to believe that they were there other than the one clip of videotape that you saw with what appears to be the pant leg of one of the coroner's representatives in it?
No, only the videotape shows that they're there.
Okay. Now, during the early portion of the collection process, did you say that you brought the glove that had been collected at the Rockingham location in its bag into the caged off area?
Yes,
And for what purpose did you do that?
Detective Lang had requested to see the Rockingham glove.
Do you recall from your own independent recollection whether or not you opened the bag for sure or not?
I don't recall if I opened the bag or not.
Have you ever had any conversation with Detective Lang about that incident to your recollection? I mean, after it happened.
Yes, we have talked about it, but I don't recall exactly what we discussed.
Do you know or happen to remember whether Detective Lang said that the bag was closed at the time?
Objection.
Sustained.
Limited for his state of mind?
Sustained.
Now, if we were to assume hypothetically that you brought the bag into the caged off area and opened it, what kind of danger, if any, would be posed in terms of contamination of the evidence?
Just by merely opening the bag,
Yes.
something from me, like my hair or something, could fall into the bag.
What about cross-contamination with the crime scene? I'm talking about that as a danger.
As long as I left the glove in the bag and was very careful opening the bag, I wouldn't see any real possibility of any cross-contamination.
At the time that you brought that glove to the location that we've described as this caged off area, did you believe that there was some legitimate investigatory reason for doing so?
Yes.
Did Detective Lang tell you what it was?
Objection.
Well, he can say yes and no without saying what was said.
He did give some indication as to why he wanted it there, yes.
Well, that was my next question, and it's not being introduced for the truth of the matter asserted, but the effect on this witness's state of mind.
I actually tried to elicit this.
What? Yeah.
No.
When you first saw the Rockingham glove at the Rockingham location, did you notice any hair on it at that time?
At
At
the
Rockingham,
Rockingham,
yes.
the Rockingham glove? I believe I did see some forms of either fibers or hair at that time.
And did you do anything to remove it at that time?
No.
Now, you were also asked some questions regarding a videotape showing Miss Mazzola collecting some items at the crime scene. You remember that? The glove and the cap, the
Yes.
glove and the cap. Perhaps we could take a look at that. It's 1083. Did you see the first portion of that? Maybe we can stop for a second. Can we just back up for just a few frames? Yeah, there. Now, Mr. Fung, what is Ms. Mazzola doing in this frame?
Miss Mazzola is placing the knit cap in a paper bag.
And does it
It's 1351, 4112.
appear to you that she's holding it from a corner of the cap without getting her much of her hand on the item?
She's holding it at the tip, yes.
And why is that done?
She's holding it so that she comes into a very small area of contact.
And then she simply places it in the bag.
Yes.
And is it generally necessary to go through 4 years of forensic science training to learn this technique?
No.
All right, let's continue with the tape. Maybe we can just back up for a second just to get the point just before she dropped it in the bag. And similarly, how is Ms. Mazzola handling the glove in this particular frame?
She's,
13, 52, 23, and I can't read the last two. Is it 25?
she's holding a very small portion of the glove and placing it into the paper bag.
And that's done for the same reason.
Yes.
And is it again necessary to have 4 years of forensic science training to figure this technique out?
No.
All right. Now, when she was lifting up this item, based upon your recollections of the crime scene itself, which area is she removing the glove from?
Based on my recollection, she's removing it from the dirt area.
And is that where the glove was when you first saw it?
Yes.
All right, we can continue with this and just finish it. That's fine. Thank you. Now, sir, did you have an opportunity to take a careful look at the defense video that depicts what appears to be a dark spot in the area of the white blanket that was on the ground?
Characterization. Sustained question.
That appears to be some sort of a dark area on the
Still objection. Characterization.
what?
Yes.
And did you also have the opportunity to view a tape that was created by the people showing that same footage and intersplicing still photography?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this, I don't know if we've already marked that we as a court exhibit.
I don't believe so.
I'd like to mark that exhibit as our next in order. People's 192.
This is the minute ahead. Could we look at it? Because I don't think so.
All right, just turn the monitor, Ms. Clark. Thank you. The opportunity to do that again. All right, proceed. Thank you, counsel.
Please see. It's People's
Happy
192.
Friday. Hey, John, you know what your puppy needs? He needs some cats to go with him. You should get some cats for me. So apparently, and not just in Pennsylvania, apparently, like, there are an explosion of cats right now, like everywhere. Like there are just cats everywhere up for adoption. So much so that they can't find places for all these cats. They say it's kitten season, which every year it's kitten season, but right now every like all of the shelters and everything are exploding with cats right now. So it's really hard to get rid of cats right now. I strongly dislike when OJ looks at the cameras. I just hate it.
Now, sir, based upon the photographs, the still photography, and the videography that was done at the crime scene, as displayed in this exhibit, and your own independent recollections, was that glove on the white blanket?
Object to the form of this question. If he's being asked a question as an independent witness, I think there's no foundation laid for his competency with respect to photography. He's being asked about his independent recollection. I have no objection. So I think the questions compound. I think I'm still legal grounds.
What?
Rephrase the question.
Sir, based upon viewing the videotapes, was the glove, the ones that we just showed, was the glove on the white blanket?
Based on the video, tape, and the pictures, the and not from my memory,
Yeah.
just from the videotapes, it did not appear to be on a blanket.
Now move to strike.
Okay, and now if you add your memory to the equation, was it on the blanket?
No.
Can you just see that? I just want to see a portion of this again, where he's laying down the cards at the beginning. Hey, now, sir, what are you doing right there in that picture? We don't have a frame number, but
I am placing the identification tag for the hat on the walkway area.
All right, guys. I'm going to bring you with me, but I'm going to take my daughter to work. So I'll be back as soon as I can. All right, behave, be good, please.
okay, so that is for the hat.
Yes.
What
Muted.
photo ID number is on the card that's in your hand on this photograph?
He's asking, is that question directed to what he can read on the video?
No, it's not directed to what he can read. It's from your independent recollection. Can you tell, and your notes? Can you tell us
Referring to his notes.
what? Yes, from your notes. Can you tell us that, sir?
From my notes, referring to my notes, that would be 103.
Okay, and that's the photo ID number for what?
That would be the photo ID for the hat in item number 38.
Okay. Now, where are you placing this card down? Is it on? Where does it actually land?
It's very close to the yellow post on the walkway area.
Your Honor, perhaps for the record, I could just describe this photograph since we don't have a counter on it. It's a photograph that appears to depict the.
Maybe we can just print it out. I think that's the
Okay.
best way to do it rather than
That's
having
fine.
this.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Ferland, do we have that captured? All right, proceed.
Okay, so now I would like to show you. Well, When you're putting this card down, the one that we've just, on the picture that we just printed out, is that, where is that in relationship to the darkened area that's in question,
That would be west of the darkened area,
which is towards
towards the street or towards the camera.
towards the camera? Okay. All right, that's fine. Sir, I'd now like to show you a couple still photographs. First, let's look at People's 56H for identification. Okay, what does that show, sir?
That depicts the glove and the photo ID card number 102.
This is 56H. And is that where you put down the card for the glove?
Yes.
All right, now let's take a look at People's 192A. Okay, I'd like to mark as People's next in order 193, which is also a photograph of this same general area. It's going to take a second to pull this up.
Please.
Isn't that 56? Okay, and what is that?
It's the same.
This is a similar photograph to 56H, sir,
Yes.
the one that we saw just before this.
Yes.
And what is it that's in the foreground just before the card 102?
There appears to be a bloody area with leaves present.
Okay, now let's see People's 179. Now, sir, do you see that same leafy area that we just saw in photograph 193 in this photograph 179?
Yes.
And where is that?
If you look at the identification card 102 and you go down from it, it's that area there.
Okay.
Before. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Now, on this particular photograph, is the card that you were laying down in the video present?
No.
So this was taken before you laid that card down?
Yes.
And do you know when, in reference to laying the card down, the still photography was done of this area?
The photographer was taking the photographs as I was putting the cards down.
And could you see that in one of the videos?
Yes.
I just need one more photograph. Perhaps we could, for the record, just have him circle the area that he's referring to, the leafy area, and print that out.
Yes. Are we having point maker problems here?
Yes, Your Honor, we were able to achieve a black color, but no other. If you notice the dot,
Yes.
top part of the screen.
Are you having maneuvering problems here?
Can we put an arrow on it instead?
Yes.
Can you make an up arrow? That would be better. Okay. More to your left. Up. More there.
Okay. Now, can we now see People's 180 for identification? Oh, hold on. I just want to ask one more question while 179 is on here. On 179, when would this be chronologically with respect to the video?
This would be before the segment of the video was.
Okay, and you know that why?
I know that because the card for 103 is not placed down yet.
And that's what you were doing in the video?
Yes.
And now can we see People's 180 for identification? We're going to have to use the Elmo. The barcodes aren't working.
One, please.
Okay, directing your attention, sir, to People's 180. Do you see the card number 10? Well, I could see it a few seconds ago. Okay. Do you see the card for number 103?
Yes.
And where is that?
There's 3 cards present, and it's the one to the very right.
And the leafy clump, is that still in the same location that it was in the previous photograph, 179?
Yes.
And the glove?
Yes.
So this would represent a photo that was taken shortly after the videotape?
Sustain.
When was this photograph taken, sir?
This would be after the videotape was taken.
All right. So if we could just skip, can we skip back between 179 and 180, or is that too much?
Two, please.
Okay, so 179 is before, Mr. Fung?
Yes.
And now let's get back to 180.
One, please.
And 180 is after.
Yes.
And the glove is in the same location in both photos.
Yes.
And so is the leafy clump.
Yes.
Thank you.
Five, please.
Now, when you got to the location at Bundy, did you know exactly what had happened in terms of any alteration of the location before you arrived?
No.
And when you filled out the crime scene identification checklist form, that's Defense 1081, if I might approach the witness for just one moment and I put it on the.
Unless it's clear
Hold
that
on. What's the ground?
ground is that he's asking,
Legal
he said-
ground there, two.
legal grounds is that the question is vague. He said you. Is he using that in the singular or the
Sustain,
plural?
raise the question.
Okay. May I approach the witness, just show him the
You may.
crime scene identification checklist. Sir, showing you this item, do you recognize that?
Yes.
And is that part of the crime scene identification checklist?
Yes.
Now, on that document, there's a question mark in the area that says, has the crime scene been altered? Did you see that?
Yes.
One, please.
Now, did you put that question mark there or did Ms. Mazzola?
Miss Mazzola did.
Did you know whether the crime scene had been altered before you arrived?
I assumed it had because the body was of Nicole Brown Simpson was on the plastic when I walked up to the scene.
Okay, and you assume that when she was murdered, it wasn't on that coroner's plastic.
Yes.
Uh, Now, is it your job as a criminalist to start interviewing witnesses for the purposes of determining what the crime scene was like when they arrived?
No.
Whose job is that?
That is the investigating officer's job. That's detectives.
All right. Now, when the crime scene identification checklist was being filled out, the portion that lists that's fine. The portion that lists the item numbers or the photograph numbers and the measurements.
Yes.
Did you do that, or did Ms. Mazzola do it, or was it a combination of both at this location?
It was a combination of both, but she did the majority of it.
Of the handwriting?
Yes.
When that was being done, when you were doing the measurements, were you working together?
Yes.
And were those parts of the crime scene identification checklist relating to the measurements and the item numbers filled out as you were investigating the crime scene?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to ask you about the rear gate stain that you recovered on July the 3rd of 1994.
Yes.
Sir, did you see that stain from your own independent recollection on the 13th?
I don't recall seeing it on the 13th.
Okay. And is it your understanding of the people's position that the stain was there on the 13th?
Sustained.
Can I be heard, Your Honor? Because it goes to a state of mind.
At the sidebar.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Sir, did you ever at any time even consider changing your testimony to say that you did see it on the 13th
No.
to help the people?
No.
All right. I'd just like to ask a couple more questions about the collection process of the blood at Bundy. When you were observing Ms. Mazzola, was she changing gloves in between samples that you could see?
I don't recall her changing gloves on purpose between every sample.
Okay. Is that something that is required?
No, it's not.
Now, sir, have you read a number of authors in the area of criminalistics on the subject of collection of blood?
I've read some, yes.
And did you look at the materials that were written by Dr. Henry Lee, a leading advocate of using DNA technology in criminal cases?
Sustained. Rephrase the question, please.
Did you read the materials that Dr. Lee wrote for the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
Certain portions of
Department of
it.
Justice. And is he a leading advocate of using DNA technology to your knowledge?
Sustained.
I didn't hear the grounds.
And move to strike.
It's your say.
And it's
Rephrase the question.
Okay. Is he considered to be a leading forensic expert?
Yes,
Right. And does he say in his materials that you have to change gloves between samples?
he doesn't mention that.
Did you also read Mr. Saperstein's or Dr. Saperstein's book, the portions of his book dealing with collection of biological evidence stains?
Portions of it, yes.
And you said that your interpretation of Dr. Saperstein was that you could not use plastic as a final packaging material. Is that correct?
Yes,
But you could use it as an intermediate one to transport to the lab.
yes.
And how do you know that? Why do you believe that that interpretation is correct?
Overruled.
We'll
Overruled.
approach from,
Overruled.
I think I,
Overruled. Proceed.
I recently saw an interview of,
All right.
move to strike.
Sustain.
May we approach?
Yes. Move the court
Thank you.
reporter. Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Does Saperstein say anything, his book, about what you're supposed to use if you collect a wet stain on a wet cotton swatch, what you were supposed to use to get it from the location to the laboratory?
not in that book, no.
And does Dr. Lee in his handout talk about that?
No,
Did you also read Lee, Ganslin, and DeForest, their work and the sections pertaining to collection of biological stains?
portions of it, yes.
And did they advocate, or did they specifically say how you get the wet stain from the scene to the laboratory?
Object on the grounds that if he's asking him for about a specific section of the text, he should refer to it.
Well, it was
Just
already
as in
cross-examined.
cross-examination, he was referred to the specific
Yes.
sections.
Do you want to tell us which portion of that work?
It was the section already cross-examined on.
All right. We need the reference for the record, counsel. Mr. Scheck, do you happen to know what chapter?
It starts on page 244. It's the section entitled Collection, Preservation, and Packaging.
Fine, thank you. Just so the record's clear. Proceed.
Let me just approach the witness just so he knows what we're talking about. Now, sir, does Dr. DeForest, Ganslin, or Lee, do they say specifically how you get a wet swatch from the crime scene to the laboratory?
I don't recall reading it in that passage, no.
Or talk about changing gloves in between samples?
No,
Now, in Dr. Lee's handout that he did for the Department of Justice, does he talk about using clean implements? Well, let me ask you another question first. Is a distinction drawn between clean and sterile in the forensic community?
Yes.
And what does that distinction entail?
Sterile is free of any type of germs or bacteria. It's been sterilized. I mean, that's the only explanation I can come up with it.
And what does clean mean
Clean
as opposed to
means
sterile?
it's free of dirt, but it hasn't been, all the bacteria and other germs or whatever aren't killed on whatever's supposed to be clean.
And in terms of the implements that are used for purposes of collecting dry stains, does Dr. Lee say that you need to use clean or sterile instruments?
He says clean.
Now, do any of these reference works that you've consulted indicate that degraded blood will turn or can turn into the suspect's blood?
Should have specific page number citations. This is very misleading. Redirect.
Or will,
None of them do, no.
And do any of the reference works that you've consulted indicate that bacterial growth can cause blood to change into the defendant's blood or the suspect's blood?
No.
Now, you were asked about Section 52520 of the Los Angeles Police Department manual dealing with packaging of biological evidence. Do you recall that?
yes. Proceed.
I remember being asked about the manual, but I don't recall exactly what that section says.
So, by the way, before we get into this, what is the Los Angeles Police Department manual for? Is it for criminalists or for police officers?
It's meant mainly for police officers.
And did you look at the sections dealing with booking of samples of blood, for example, in preparation for your testimony?
Yes.
And are those sections ones that the criminalists are passed up to the criminalists for you to follow, or is that for police officers?
The manual has areas that deal with all the department personnel. However, those sections are geared towards the police officers.
Okay. Now, I'd like to approach the witness, Your Honor, if I may, and just show him 52520. It's on page 367 of the 1992.
All right, Mr.
manual
Check, you have that?
Mr. Scheck has.
Just double check.
All right, proceed. Thank you, Counsel. You may.
Sir, I'm showing you this page out of the manual. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay. And does that provide that, and under the title Preserving Wet Stains, items containing wet blood, semen, or chemical stains shall be permitted to dry at room temperature before packaging. Plastic containers or plastic wraps shall not be used as a packaging material. Is that what it provides?
Yes.
And does that mean that, is that talking about final packaging or interim packaging?
Sustain. Rephrase the question.
What kind of packaging is that talking about?
X speak for itself. I believe they be put into evidence.
Overruled.
My interpretation is that it's for final packaging.
After they've been dried?
Yes.
And after the stains were dried, in this case, what kind of packaging were they placed in by you and Criminalist Mazzola?
They were placed in paper.
Now, were there be any problems that would result if you placed the wet stains in paper at the scene?
Yes.
What problems?
The swatches could leak through the paper and cross-contaminate each other.
And does the plastic prevent the problem of cross-contamination due to leakage?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to turn to the Rockingham location again, and specifically the blood drops that you located and collected along with criminalist Mazzola leading from the area of the Bronco up to the front door.
Yes.
Can you refer to your crime scene identification checklist and tell us how many stains there were and the distance between them?
I can give you rough distances.
All right, hold on a second.
A board as well. Mr. Fairtlow will put that up.
All right.
while we're waiting.
Mr. Sheck, you have the page?
Yes,
All right. Mr. Fairtlow,
The only thing, Your Honor, is that I believe the witness has a page.
why don't you confer with Mr. Goldberg?
Yes.
Make sure you have.
Sir, on the page that you're going to refer to in order to provide us with this information, did you jot down some information as to the distances?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I made some rough calculations from my property reports.
So in other words, you took the information that was already in your property reports and you just did some calculations based on it?
Yes.
We don't have this page. That's,
Hold on.
perhaps it's just one page. Can we make a copy right now? And that
Goldberg?
assist us?
Any objection to having a copy, both sides having a photocopy of these notes?
No, they're just notes that he's using to refresh his recollection.
Just give me a copy. Give me a PZB. Thank you. Just for a second. Let Mr. Sheck step back so he's not blocking the witness. All right, Mr. Goldberg. So you can each have a copy.
Sir, just to verify the record on what you're looking.
Hand
Oh.
that to Mr. Goldberg.
Oh, thank you. I'm
And one
sorry.
copy to Mr. Sheck. Thank you. Proceed.
Just to clarify the record in terms of what you're looking at. This appears to be a little diagram. When was this diagram created?
That diagram was created at the Rockingham scene on June 13th.
And the diagram itself is part of your crime scene identification checklist?
Yes.
So this is an old item over here, at
Yeah.
least most of it.
Most of it is.
Now,
Yes.
what about the new, is there some new stuff on here?
Yes.
What is the new stuff on here that Mr. Sheck needed a copy of?
There are some measurements that in between the items of evidence that I calculated and put down.
Okay, and did you do that just recently in order to be able to give us that testimony more efficiently when you testified?
Yes.
All right, can you tell us, not counting the stain on the Bronco, on the Bronco handle, how many stains were there?
Eight stains altogether.
Now, you have on your diagram and as well on the photos, some stains that are labeled A, B, and C, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you said that it was your custom and your practice to take representative samples.
Yes.
In the case of a trail, what does that generally mean?
In the case of a trail, a representative sample would be one from the beginning, one or two, depending on the length from the middle, and one at the end of the trail.
And in this particular case, did you and criminalist Mazzola collect more stains than would customarily be done in this kind of a situation?
Yes.
Were there certain stains which you did not collect in conformity with the representative sample approach?
There were stains that I did not collect along this trail, yes.
And which ones were those?
That would be the ones with letters on them, A, B, and C.
But you did cause those to be documented with photography.
Yes.
Now, can you give us the distance between the stains, starting with the ones that began in the area near where the Broncos parked?
The approximate distance from 4 to 5, which is, and 4 and 5 are depicted in photograph A. You can see the two cards.
All right, 795, can you see that?
Can we have the picture of that?
We have a bad angle for the jury here.
Your Honor, maybe we can move this over here.
The distance between 4 and 5 is approximately 12 feet.
And what about the next 4 and the next stain?
Between 4 and the next stain, or 5 and 6?
Well, 4 and 5,
Between 4 and 5 is 12 feet.
and 5 and 6.
Between 5 and 6 is approximately 8 feet.
And where was A in relationship to 6?
6 was near A, and it was south of 6.
We can have the photograph that's marked C on the screen. I don't know whether the resolution on that is good enough. Mr. Fung, maybe you can take a look at the actual photograph and see what you can tell us where 5, 6, and A are.
5 is in the foreground. 6 is to the upper left, and A is up to the upper right.
Okay. And now, Mr. Fung, the distance between 6 and B.
The distance between 6 and B is roughly 65 feet.
Maybe we can have a picture of D on the Rockingham exhibit. It's equals 120. All right. And what is the approximate distance then between B and C?
I wasn't able to make that calculation from my notes.
And does that turn, kind of turn the corner?
Yes.
All right, as depicted on People's 120, do the call outlines show the relative positions of B and C?
Yes.
Maybe we can have People's 120 F, a picture of that. Can you tell us which one is C in the perspective shot?
In the perspective shot, C is the card in the
Foreground.
towards the bottom.
And what is the approximate distance then between C and stain 7?
It was, again, this is a rough estimate, and it's about 25 to 30 feet, or 25 feet, but that's rough.
Okay, maybe we can see photograph number 5. Photograph number 5, is that picture number 7?
Yes, it does.
And then the distance between 7 and 8.
The distance between 7 and 8 is roughly 20 feet.
And can we see photograph K? Does that show number 8?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me zoom this in. John, maybe I'll mark the little diagram that we just got as People's 194 for identification.
194, small diagram.
And I'll place the 194.
Madam Reporter, how you doing?
Maybe I can just put this on the elbow quickly just to get the witness out.
One, please.
Okay, is this the little crime scene sketch that was part of the crime scene identification checklist that shows the various items?
Yes.
And which is the,
This is not the document by his own admission.
well, what is this?
This is a representation of that.
Okay, but is there a part of this that's new, that added on to?
Yes.
Okay, what part is that? Do we see that on here?
Yes. Between the circles with numbers in them are distances that I've made rough calculations to.
Okay, so that's the new part.
Yes.
And did you do that in preparation for your testimony a few days ago?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
One, please. One, please.
Now, you said that you did a phenolphthalein test of the glove that was located at Rockingham. Is that correct?
Yes.
And for what purpose did you do that?
I was requested by Detective Van Adder to perform a pheno test on that item.
Why didn't you refuse?
It was important to his investigation at the time. At the time he requested it.
Did he say why he wanted that information?
You can say yes or no, he was told.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if he did or not.
Okay, did you know that there was going to be a search warrant?
Yes.
Why did you think that it was reasonable to conduct this phenolphthalein test in the field?
The performing a phenolphthalein test on the glove was minimally invasive to the item itself. It wouldn't have contaminated it, and by carefully selecting an area, trace evidence would not be disturbed either.
Can you just tell us what's involved in a phenolphthalein test?
A cotton applicator is wet with distilled water. It is applied to a stain so that the stain is transferred onto the wet applicator. The reagent phenolphthalein is placed on the cotton swab or applicator, and then hydrogen peroxide is placed after the phenolphthalein onto the applicator, and if it is positive, immediately a bright pink color appears.
Now, sir, does the cotton applicator have to touch the glove more than that one time in order to collect a little portion of the stain?
No.
Now, you said that when you were inside the Rockingham location, you didn't see any bloody shoe prints or partial shoe prints on the rug. Is that true?
That's correct.
Now, when you were back at the Bundy location looking at the shoe prints, did they fade out at some point?
They got lighter and lighter, and after a point, we could not detect shoe prints.
Okay. Did you also see something that resembled or was a shoe print in the Bronco when you did the search of the Bronco on the 14th?
What's the objection? Legal basis.
It's speculative, it's conclusory, and it's legal.
Overruled.
I saw,
All right. Go for it.
Books are cool. Books are very cool. And they are never ugly. I'm going to try to find a book outfit to wear so I look like a book.
Did you see something when you were looking at the Bronco that resembled a shoe print?
yes,
Where was that?
that was on the driver floor area.
Carpet?
Yes.
And then someone can say to me,
So
book 'em,
basically
Dana.
what you saw at the Bundy location in terms of the shoe prints that were fading out and faded out at some point along the trail, and what you saw in the Bronco, would you necessarily expect to find bloody shoe prints in the defendant's house?
Objection.
Overruled.
Not necessarily, no.
Why not necessarily?
There are a couple of reasons. One is the shoes could have been removed prior to going into the house. And second, if the shoes were still worn going into the house, the shoes may have dried off, or there may not have been enough blood left on the soles to make tracks.
Okay, and do you have any personal knowledge one way or the other as to whether the defendant took his shoes off when he got back to Rockingham?
Strike.
Just showing that he doesn't.
Rephrase the question.
Were you there on the evening of the 12th at the defendant's house?
No.
Okay. Now, did you also take a look at some photographs depicting the shoes of Ronald Goldman or his boots at the crime scene?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at People's 98 and People's 99. Let's try.
It is.
People's 98.
Isn't he Ronald Goldman? Did he just talk about himself? Or is there someone else I missed? Or is he Goldberg?
Did you take a look at this photograph of Ronald Goldman's shoe?
Briefly, yes.
And
Now-
did you take a look to see whether you could see any evidence?
Now I'm just confused by the way he's talking. Isn't he Ronald Goldman? Or no, oh my gosh, I forget it. I got it now. The murdered victim is Ronald Goldman. I thought he was talking about himself in the third, which broke my brain. I'm caught up now, guys. Just ignore me.
Of caked on dirt in between the crevices and on the sole of the shoe.
Yes.
Do you see much caked on dirt there?
I don't see a lot, but there is some present.
Okay, let's take a look at the other shoe.
People's Exhibit 99.
And on this shoe, there is somewhat more caked on dirt than on the other one.
It appears to be yes.
And based upon your observations of the crime scene, and particularly the caged off area, as well as the crime scene photographs of Ronald Goldman's shoes, would you necessarily expect to find detectable dust prints or muddy shoe prints at the defendant's
Objection,
Rockingham home?
I blame the prosecutors for what I just did there. They have not spoken about the murders enough in all of these months that the name is burned into me enough. They just are not talking about the murders.
Not necessarily, no.
Why not?
There isn't a whole lot of dirt to track around. It may be there, but then again, it may not be there. I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be there, though.
Okay. Well, what do you mean by not a lot of dirt there? Are you talking about the soles of the shoes?
Yes.
Okay, and particularly, if we can go back to 98. Are you particularly talking about 98?
Yes.
Okay. And did this seem to be an exceptionally muddy area at the time on the 13th? As if
Much of the area was dry, but there were some areas that appeared to be muddy because of the blood.
Okay. So based upon what you see on the soles of Goldman's shoes and your observations at the crime scene, would you expect an assailant who went back to the defendant's location and walked on his carpet to track a lot of dirt through that location?
I wouldn't expect there to be a lot. I wouldn't expect either way. If it was there, I wouldn't be surprised. But if it wasn't, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Okay. I'd like to mark I'll get to that later.
All right, let's take a break then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief 15-minute recess. Please remember all my admonitions to you. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you. We'll stand in recess for 15. Let's have the jury, please. I'm sorry.
I didn't mark this photograph of the the printout of the screen as 192A. Mr. Fung putting the card down.
All right, People's 192A. All right, thank you. Let's have the jurors, please.
It's just, these guys had to go through this for a year. Maybe not a
All right, the
whole
record
year,
should
but
reflect that
my
we've been now
God.
rejoined by all the members of our jury
Yes.
panel. Mr. Dennis Fung is again on the
Yes.
witness stand, undergoing redirect examination by Mr. Goldberg. Mr. Goldberg, you may continue.
Just before the break, I wanted to mark two more exhibits as People's 195A. It's a shot of the interior of the Bronco from the outside.
All right, photograph Bronco interior from exterior.
And 195B,
195B.
which is a close-in version of the interior of the carpet.
All right.
Depicting item 33.
So, Mark, you may proceed.
So showing the first the mark is 195A for identification.
One, please.
Does this give a perspective shot of the area where the partial shoe print was located?
It,
In other words, does it show the area?
the area is included in that area, in that photograph, yes.
Okay, where in reference to where the light is shining of the flashlight is the area that you found this partial shoe print? In that area or?
In that area, which is left of the identification marker.
And now if we could see 195B. Is 195B a closer in shot?
Yes.
And can you see the area, point out the area for us where you saw what appears to be a partial shoe print?
You can't see it very well in this photograph, but if you see the rubber mat area in the upper left-hand corner of the rubber, there's some darkened area, stained area,
Maybe we can use the arrows to point to
a
it.
little bit more to the left, down a little bit. That's the general area.
Okay. Maybe we can print that out and mark that as 195B, Your Honor.
About 195.
C. Now, sir, is there any reason why if the shoe prints at the Bundy location had faded out, there might be a partial shoe print inside the Bronco?
Objection.
Foundation,
Speculation.
sustained.
Is there any difference between concrete and carpet in terms of its ability to absorb blood?
There can be, yes,
What?
depending on the, if it's thick carpet or close carpet, there may be a difference in the ability for the absorptivity, I guess.
And would you expect more absorption on this carpet if the foot was resting on it for a period of time than someone walking across concrete?
Speculation. Objection.
Sustained.
Would you expect more absorption on this type of carpet than on concrete in general?
I believe that the carpet would be able to get areas in the crevices of the sole where concrete would not be able to get to, and it would then show up on the concrete.
Thank you.
Five, please.
And when you were actually looking at that area with the naked eye that we just saw in the photograph, was it also extremely faint even to the naked eye?
It was faint,
And
yes,
faded?
yes.
Would it surprise you, sir, if by the time the defendant got back to Rockingham, there was nothing there at all?
This form of questioning, I'd ask the
Sustained.
statute to
Rephrase the question.
cease.
If you assume that a assailant got into the Bronco and caused that stain that you just described, Would it surprise you if there was nothing left at all by the time you got back to Rockingham?
Overall, it would not surprise me.
Now, when you were at the Rockingham location, you saw a pair of socks in the master bedroom.
Yes,
And can you tell us whether you collected those between the collection of item 12 and item 14 by looking at your crime scene identification checklist?
I don't think Fung would let his socks in the master bedroom on the floor. I could be wrong, but I don't think he would.
it was collected within that time frame. I don't know if it was collected in between those two times, though.
What are the two time frames? What is the time frame for 12?
The time frame is 4:30.
And that was the stain in the foyer.
Yes.
And what is the time for 14?
Time frame for 14 is 4:40.
And that was the stain in the master bathroom.
Yes.
Now, on cross-examination, you said that the socks appeared out of place. What did you mean by that?
It looked like they didn't belong there.
Were there any shoes there or other clothing or pants as if someone had undressed in all of their clothing in that area?
Not in that area, no.
Did that cause you to believe that it was out of place?
Yes.
And did you phenolphthalein the socks?
No.
Did you do any close visual examination of the socks when you picked them up?
No, not a close one.
Now, I just want to make sure I understood your testimony. Do you know whether you collected 13 in between 12 and 14? Or
Oh, I can
Answer.
answer. I'm sorry. I know it was in that time frame, but I don't specifically recall, or can I tell from the notes if they were
for sure,
for sure?
but it was in that general time frame.
Yes.
Now, with respect to the socks, if there were light specks of blood that had been spattered on the socks, would you expect those to flake off?
I wouldn't expect them to, no.
Did you see any blood that appeared to be caked onto the socks at any time?
No.
And if the socks were wet at the time that they were taken off, would you expect any blood to fall off? Crusted blood?
If the socks were wet,
Yes, when they were taken off.
I wouldn't expect it, no.
Now, you said that when you saw Detective Furman collect item number 10, that you couldn't recall exactly what technique he used. Do you recall?
That's correct.
And you were asked a series of questions as to whether or not it was even possible to use the scoop technique for that item.
That's correct.
When you repackaged item number 10 on the witness stand, how did you do that?
I used the scoop technique.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark a portion of the trial transcript as recorded on the cameras as 196 for identification.
Is this a transcript or a videotape?
Well, it's a videotape. I thought we showed it to counsel. I thought we did.
This would be People's 196.
196. And what did you
I
just
don't-
do in People's 196, this video
I don't think they've introduced the victims yet.
clip with item number 10?
I held the envelope in my left hand, and using the scissors, I pushed the plastic bag into the coin envelope.
Is that a scoop technique?
Yes.
Now, getting back to the Bronco, did you actually conduct any search of the interior of the Bronco on June the 13th?
I looked in the interior from the outside, but I never went inside the Bronco.
And was it locked when you saw it on the 13th?
Yes.
Now, you said that you saw a stain on the outside of the Bronco, on the door handle,
Yes,
on the 13th.
yes.
Did you see any other stains that you recall of your independent recollection on the 13th? Outside.
On the outside, no.
All right. Now, you were asked a series of questions about Detective Furman's testimony. Do you know what the significance, if any, is of additional stains outside the Bronco?
I do now
Well, when did you figure that out?
during Mr. Scheck's cross-examination.
And what did you gather from Mr. Scheck's cross-examination?
That Detective Furman's credibility was what the line of questioning was directed towards.
All right. Did you ever consider modifying your testimony in any way to help out Detective Furman or any other witness with respect to what you saw on the 13th?
No,
Did you see stains on the 14th in the area of the what we would refer to, I think, as the running board or the lower portion of the door jamb?
I did see some stains on the 14th.
Sir, I'd like to show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 1098 for identification.
Yes,
You said that that exhibit was washed out. What did you mean by that?
the picture didn't show much detail in it, and it appeared that there was extra lighting, or the lighting was adjusted towards the interior of the vehicle, and the white portion of the picture had too much light to show any detail.
And could you actually see any stains in that picture that you were referring to that you saw on the 14th?
I couldn't see them, no.
So how did you place that arrow?
I placed it by memory.
All right. Now, I'd like to mark as our next exhibit 197 for identification what appears to be another picture of the interior of the Bronco.
All right, 197. You may. Mr. Goldberg.
Thank you. Can we see that?
One, please.
Let's just see, can we just see one that's the view of the whole photograph first? Okay, sir, what does this depict?
This depicts the same area. It's the running board of the front driver door of the Bronco.
Okay, and now can we zoom in on the running board area? Can you maybe go back just a little bit? Okay, that's fine. Now, Mr. Fung, can you see any of the stains depicted there that you were referring to that you saw on the 14th?
Yes,
And this photograph that we're looking at now, is this one that you caused to be taken on the 14th?
yes.
Maybe using the telestrator, we can mark. Well, first of all, how many stains do you see?
There are, depending on how you count stains,
I love when it's snowing too. I love it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, let's see if we can mark all 4 of them.
Okay, up and to your left, right there, there's 2 of them there.
All right, let's just have one mark for the
Okay.
2 of, or let's circle the 2 of those. Now, sir, when the door is closed, if you know, is it possible to see those 2?
Don't believe it's possible to see those when the door's closed.
The judge talked about a movie. I don't know if they got to watch a movie from their hotel rooms or they were allowed to go to the movie theater, but he did talk about a movie. I think the movie was in their hotel rooms though.
All right, now let's mark the next stain.
From that circle there, if you go in the 7 o'clock direction, there's a small blip
Hot chocolate.
right there, and it's to the left of that. Yes.
So these would be 3 of the 4 stains you're referring to.
Yes.
And what about the one that we just marked that's below the 2 stains? Is it possible to see that when the door is closed?
Yes.
Now let's go to the 4th stain.
And the 4th area is back towards the right and down, and there's a smear that's fairly elongated along that ridge. That's the general area.
Also,
Can we print out
pasta.
this document?
Doesn't pasta hit differently when it's snowy and freezing outside?
Can we mark this 197A, Your Honor?
197A.
Now, sir, were any of these stains that you tested later
Punchable
on
face.
in July?
Punchable.
Yes.
Which one?
The circle, the stain circle to the bottom left is the one I believe I tested with phenolphthalein.
Okay. And what about the other 2 then were not tested in July?
No.
Hold on, Goldberg.
Maybe we can put the date of July 790. Can you write that 794? You're talking about the stain that you said was in the 7 o'clock position from
Yes.
the first stain
That
that you
one
marked.
there.
94.
My trash can does the work for my dogs when it snows. I put my trash can outside right by the door. Snows. Then I move my trash can and there's a square of grass for my dog right there.
Perhaps we can mark this as People's 197B.
Yes, 197B.
I was looking for my aspirin, which I had on my desk yesterday, and the first place I looked was on the floor right here because I have cats. So when I need something, the first place I look is it on? Did they knock it over? They probably knocked it over. It's on the floor, right?
I'd like to mark as 198, People's 198, an exhibit that's entitled Analyzed Evidence Report, dated 7/7/94.
All right, analyze evidence report.
I have the whole document. Just characterizing it. It's dated as 7/7/94.
All right, would you show Mr. Scheck the item? Yes, you may.
Sir, I'd just like you to take a look at People's 198 for identification. Tell us what that is.
This is a analyzed evidence report that I wrote concerning the detection of blood on the exterior portion of the Bronco.
Okay, do you know which date it was that you did the phenolphthalein tests on the Bronco?
Was
They're
the
related in this report.
on the 6th.
Now, sir, is it your practice? It was what? What was the date of the test?
According to this, it was July 6th.
Okay. Now, do you have an independent recollection of that, or is it just the report?
That's the report.
All right. Now, is it always your practice when you do a phenolphthalein test to write an analyzed evidence report the same day?
No.
Is it always your practice to write it the same week necessarily?
Not necessarily.
Is it always your practice to write an analyzed evidence report when you do a phenolphthalein test?
No, it is not.
In fact, did you do some, were some phenolphthalein tests done on the Bronco on the 13th, on the brake pedals in your presence?
On the 14th,
On the 14th, excuse me.
yes.
And who did that?
That was done by criminalist Mazzola.
And is that the same phenolphthalein test that you described to us earlier in your testimony?
Yes.
What were the results of the phenolphthalein tests on the brake pedals?
They came back positive for the presence of blood.
And how many pedals did she do?
She did all three.
Did you or criminalist Mazzola collect any stains or take any swatches from those brake pedals?
No,
So you did not collect any evidence on those?
that's correct.
Is it your practice to always collect evidence when you get a positive phenolphthalein result?
No,
Now, did you also do some phenolphthalein testing on a Bentley vehicle?
yes,
At this time, I'd like to mark as People's 199 for identification. Another analyzed evidence report on a black Bentley.
199.
So directing your attention to People's 199. It's a two-page document, right, for identification. What is that?
this is a analyzed evidence report that I wrote concerning the search for blood in the black Bentley.
When did you first see the black Bentley?
I first saw the Bentley on June 13th.
And when did you actually do the phenolphthalein testing that's related in the report?
That was done on June 30th.
When did you write the report?
I wrote the report on October 6th.
And did the report indicate that in the various areas that you tested for blood that you did not find any?
Yes,
Right. So is this consistent with your custom and your practice that you do not necessarily write an analyzed evidence report contemporaneously or immediately after the phenolphthalein testing?
that's correct.
Your Honor, could we approach for one moment before I ask my next
Yes,
few
report,
questions?
please.
And that's a good spot for us to end for the day. That wasn't that bad today. It wasn't.
Why is it your practice
No, I'm
when you're collecting?
talking. I didn't want to scream at the screen today. I think he did make some really good points today, because the things that Sheck was complaining about are just common sense. That it's fine. You know what I mean? It's collecting evidence with gloves on. I don't know if they change gloves every single time they collect a piece of evidence now, but back then they didn't, and no one told them to, and it wasn't a thing. So he pointed that out, and he pointed, carrying the blood in a plastic bag, whatever, is fine. It was in where it was supposed to be, then in a plastic bag. It's not like he took the plastic baggie and scooped the blood into the baggie. And he was like, does bacteria or whatever, anything, would it change blood to make it point to O.J. Simpson? Would that change the blood to make it O.J. Simpson's? Yeah, that was a good point. It's still O.J. Simpson's blood, no matter how you look at it. So, lots to do today. It's Friday, so get a whole bunch of work done. That way, this weekend, you can just kick back and relax. I don't know if I have a special video coming today. I think I have a special video coming at 11 a.m. I've been trying to get it ready. I'm still trying to get it ready. If I can get it ready by 11, it'll be a special video at 11. If not, it'll be another court clip. But I'll see you again real soon, guys. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.